40 years represents the ending of a generation and the beginning of a new one. We are in that generation now that's going to lead this country even further than where we are right now. If we don't have creative minds in place to do so, we'll always be stagnant as a country. You know, anybody who has a gift or a talent that they're not using, they should feel uncomfortable every day that they're not using it. And that's how I felt at the beginning of the year. I felt like, God, you gave me this talent and I'm just wasting it away. Even though I'm still involved in the clothing company, I was searching for something bigger, something more unique, something that's never been done before. I didn't quite know what it was. Honestly, I didn't know. But I kept my mind open. I kept looking for a sign. You know, how did I even know I was going to design a watch? My birthday is in February 2nd. I saw a watch online that I wanted to buy for my birthday, a really nice watch. I placed the order. I was supposed to pick it up from my cousin at the end of January in Miami. It never arrived. I called the company. The company said, "Oh, we didn't send a watch because your billing and shipping address were different." So I said, "Okay, I have the correct billing and shipping address now. Can you send it?" "Oh, well, that was the last watch. We sold it already." And for some reason that I was very upset. I was almost in a rage. Most people would just go out and purchase another watch, but me, when I feel like I'm wronged or pushed against the wall, my mind then goes into overdrive, and I think to myself, well, I'll create my own watch. As simple as that. And usually I would kind of sit on the idea and play with it back and forth, but with this being the year of 40th independence, I realized there was a sense of urgency. And with a sense of urgency, to me, it almost breeds creativity, because then your mind is in overdrive. I'm thinking more. I'm trying to do more within the time frame that I have. LuCairi, the brand. What does LuCairi mean? You know, when I had the idea that I was going to create a watch, I didn't know the name. I didn't know what it was going to be called. I didn't know the style of the watch. From my previous experiences in developing a brand, it was much easier now to understand when you create something, you're not only creating a product, but you're creating a lifestyle that goes along with that product. And when I was developing different names for the brand, you know, I was thinking Giorgio & Co., Knowles & Co., but nothing was really jumping out to me. So I went on Wikipedia and I started researching the history of the Bahamas. When Christopher Columbus discovered the Bahamas and he met the people and he asked them, "What do you call yourselves?" And they said LuCairi, which means people of the islands. It was later translated into Lucayo in Spanish, and then it was changed to Lucayan for English. LuCairi draws on the heritage of the original inhabitants of the Bahamas. You know, it's going back to a time in history where we were not ruled, we were free. We were free people. And that's why independence is so significant to me and the brand, because it represents free people. And that's what LuCairi is to me. People of the islands, free people of the islands. You know, for over 500 years we've been, I would say, governed by another body besides our own. On July 10, 1973, that chain was broken. We became, once again, leaders of ourselves, of our own country, of our people. And that's something that I treasure as a Bahamian. You know, I'm a Bahamian, and I don't mean that in a funny way. I mean, I'm from the soil. I've traveled all around the world, but I've never been outside this country for more than 3 weeks at a time. As a matter of fact, anytime I'm about to travel away from my home, I get sick. I don't know why. I think my body doesn't respond to me being on foreign soil at all. I take being a Bahamian very seriously for some reason, you know? I feel that we're people that pride ourselves on our history and on our culture. You know, I would think that the Bahamas is probably one of the lowest countries in exporting people because we don't want to leave. We love it here, despite what goes on in the cities and the crime and everything else. It's still our home, and we love it. We respect it, and I truly think that as a people, we want to see our country succeed in all the things that we do. To me, I always had this saying, I only have one passport, and that's Bahamian. Actually, I was going to make a t-shirt that says that. But anyway.